reintroduction once we're back.
Actually, no, go right into the action.
I won't talk about styles. I'll go into the action. You talk. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, everybody in between and all over the world, have you ever stumbled? Well, don't worry, because you've stumbled into some action here today. Things are off and rumbling in Oostende, Belgium for EUCF 2024. We're in the open division and we're watching Quijotes with the disc. This is their D-line. 3SB started out on offense, a quick turnover in these challenging conditions, and now Quijotes trying to play that Spanish give-go style outside the end zone. You got to think it's going to be effective in these conditions, but how effective? All the way down the pitch, a bobble and a turnover, and that's just how difficult it is to get your fingers around that disc. 3SB understandably shooting deep immediately. They're looking all the way down the pitch. They find Zaluski. Zaluski now looking for options, waiting. A hat comes off, and some offense arrives. And now 3SB want to reset. Remember, they started on offense, so this would be a hold. Halanka gets the disc back. Resets into the middle. Makes a move himself. And that kind of dominator is going to be effective, but you're going to need quick and close throws. Another turnover. The third of this point. Now Quijotes, will they take on the big shots, or will they keep it close and stick to their style? Stuck in their own end zone right now. Rain pouring down, but wind not so much a factor. There's the quick recycle. Galarota. It's going to be a pick called downfield. It might be Halanka who gets to catch up with bunt.
Galarota, the Italian import, of course. Played many seasons with Bologna and a few with La Fota. Certainly the big season they had going into Worlds 2022, but he has moved on over and joined the ranks of the Quijotes side, hailing from Madrid, who have just been on the upscale all season long, for a couple seasons, getting better and better. This year, breaking into EUCF for the first time ever and showing us their first action in this first round, Lorcan.
Well, let's see if their D-line can get it done in the second opportunity. Quick resetting and really working that short break side. Bit of contact. It's been a slow start to this game so far, if we're honest with ourselves. I am Lorcan Murray. I'm joined by Stefan Rapazzo.
Great to be here, Lorcan, despite the skies opening up for us to kick things off. As we understand, today may stand to get even worse than it is now. But then after that, the rest of this weekend set to be absolutely glorious. So very interesting to get through the pools in this weather. It will shake things up a lot, and that is the exciting part about inclement weather as we get straight back into play here.
Sent to the break side again. It's Tate Hancock. Disc in hand. He's waiting for somebody somewhere to come and help. Forced to go with the big arcing leading pass. Lots of bodies underneath it, but it's the big man himself, Mate Zaluski, who takes it down. And 3SB are back to it. Third time's the charm, Steph.
Let's find out.
Halanka acting as the pivot. Sends it to Hrish. Hrish winds up and unleashes all the way down. It's going to be a comfortable clap, catch, collect for 3SB. Third time was the charm, 1-0.
Indeed it was. Halanka injected himself more so on the second possession 3SB had, was integral in moving their offense. And this time, again, he's always there to set up the play. Zaluski, big on both ends, got the D back, had played well. But how about the bomb that we see there in this inclement weather, able to unleash, send the whole length of the field, and 3SB from Budweis, Czech Republic, break onto the scoring sheet first as we get into this, the second round of action on day one. EUCF coming at you from Oostende, Belgium. It was indeed Peter Hrish with the goal there.
Through the assist.
With the bomb.
Hrish launched it. Unfortunately, we're still combating the conditions right now, so we couldn't quite make out the receiver. We will get that information for you when you can. Interesting matchup of styles. And if you are the Quijotes D-line, I think Oh, coming straight off the sideline. I like that lightning quick play. Very low throw. So Ortega wanted to get things going straight away. Farron almost threw it into the ground. Farron's going to be a big handler for them in these conditions. Love the in-game disc wipe just to show you how wet it is. And another leading backhand pass. You've got to get low and get a lot of snap on those throws if you want them to survive. That seems to be exactly what's happening. Another leading pass and looking to finish it off. That's a nice throw from Ortega. A little bit risky, a little bit frisky, but the Spanish, perfect hold.
You got to be in it to win it. No risk, no reward. Sergio Monterde Ortega throws the assist there. The goal coming in to the number 43 shirt. Oh, no, that's where it came from. A nice slide by Valbuena. And the Spanish outfit leveled things up. A 11-4 season. They were very good over the course of this year. And they just got better through it. Summer Tour really sealed the deal for them. They needed to work the ranking system right to the bitter end. And they went on a run undefeated at Summer Tour until the very last game. One tribe got them there. But I think they had known they'd done enough. They were in, maybe let the foot off the gas just a little bit at the very end. But they're very proud to be here. This is a team, as mentioned, that, you talk about all of Spanish Ultimate in general. They've been renowned for their sand game, playing on the beach. Really turned some heads at EUF as the Spanish national team. That big win against Italy in Limerick was one that caught a lot of attention. And the Spanish team is letting the world know that they are not just a beach ultimate team. Again, they play this ticky-tacky give-and-go style, maybe not perfectly suited for these conditions, but they also play on beaches against wind, so they might well know how to adapt that game to the conditions.
Dobek was able to get his hands around that one and get the pass off just about in time. Villamek, that's the younger Villamek, dumps back, and Dobek again. So you see Quijotes coming out with his own stuff. As for now, the 3SB handlers happy to just keep throwing their way around it, but not through it. Quick cycles back and forth. It's going to take a lot of movement. Matthias Dobek snapping that flick as you have to. See Wojciech Sladek coming back to support. This is something I expect to see a lot of today. Zones that condense around the handlers and say, throw into the mid space. Normally, in normal conditions, that kind of zone is so vulnerable in the middle space. You can just throw discs that go up and down. But the problem with those discs is very difficult to catch.
Yep, we are going to see a lot of multi-turnover points over the course of this day. And it will be war of attrition point by point. And I'd say leads are easily squandered. Anybody can get back in a game. Everything goes up to the gods of the weather in days like this.
Scuba to Dobek, so showing they're not afraid to throw those overheads to start the game off. Anyway, and there's the big ripper. John Doherty, who else? He's done with this dump swing nonsense. Time to shoot.
Doc says, let's get it out of here. Get it out of harm's way. If we're going to make an error, let's make sure that they pick it up 60 meters or more from scoring. And a strategy a tactic a lot of teams will adapt to this weather with is we've got a playbook. We've run trainings all year long. But with wind and rain, let's throw that book out the window and huck and dee a little bit here. Get it out of our end. And Doc doing just that, giving Quijotes a break chance, but with a whole field in front of them.
And they got break chances on the first point as well, and we're not able to convert. So we'll see how they react. I like that hop back to the pre-travel position. Desperately fast running. And a big shot, Calarato, once again, no hesitation. It's going to float, but you don't mind too many of those in these situations when you got players like that on the other side to bring it down. And the Quijotes quick to come up and help. Jimenez throws back corner, and that's a break. 2-1 to Quijotes.
Quijotes getting the break train going. We get a little bit of Finney action coming from Aragones, jumping inside that 3-meter line to prevent bringing you all the action back at home. But we do get the action nonetheless. And Quijotes jacked. How about this catch here? Pack grab, just well reads, waits it out, bodies out really well to stay in front of the defender. And here's the finishing throw. Beautiful work by Quijotes to generate. John Dock thought he did what he needed to do to get out of harm's way, but he got it out the other end, played the huck and hope, but huck and D, but the D was not quite enough when Quijotes are making plays like that in the air.
I believe that was Pablo Irutagayena who got up massively to take that down. I might be wrong, though. It's a little difficult to make out the numbers at times. So very sorry if I've taken that stat away from you, Vargas. Big pull out of the hands of Tate Hancock. And Quijotes, that's 2 flawless scores in a row. The first point, obviously, their D-line turned it over twice. O-line came out, scored, no turnovers. D-line gets 1 opportunity, scores, no turnovers. So how will 3SB respond? You would hope with a hold as Peter Kresch walks with the disc to the brick mark. Hancock on the force. Kresch immediately throws to the far sideline. He wants to get it back. This Quijotes zone. It got a turn, and they cashed it in. Pop back. Looking for options. Right now, Kresch just going every second pass. Halamka. Kresch. And centered again. Now Quijotes seem to spread out. Zone almost looks a little FSU-y right now. With Jimenez sitting in that rove position. Hammer over the top, getting a bit more expansive with their throws. And that's something 3SB happy to do. Villamek, the older, gets it back to Kresch. Ooh, that's a tough throw to get into Halamka. Forced to look it off. And now they're speeding down. Pelican. Just outside the end zone in the hands of Zaluski. Zaluski back to Pelican. Pavel Pelican, he has Kresch in the dump position. He doesn't want it. He wants the glory and the gold. Gets a quick pass to Filip Halamka. 2-2.
Yeah, Pelican there was very quick off after the throw. He was very good distribution. The throws were nice, but even more impressive how quick he got moving after they went. This one, of course, no need to move after the throw because it cashes in for the goal. But Pelican, of course, went and won a European championship with La Fota back in Caorle 4 years ago now. And has carried over some of that championship pedigree that he earned playing for the Italian club, is bringing it to his side here, 3SB. And they're happy to have what he's bringing. There it is. There's his throw and goes. Catch again. And 3 touches here before distributing the assist. Pelican, what do you think of the new 3SB uniforms? These are fresh. They got an arrow on the back there.
They're a little baseball jersey-ish for me. And I miss when they used to be the combination. Oh, no, I'm thinking of the wrong team. But I remember Fui, and they had the elephant from the old Junta team, and I always love an elephant.
They always love an elephant. Interesting, Kritz's number has got the +1 on it. Don't know how that happened.
As here come Quijotes. Big layout block And that's what 3SB want to do all game long. Stepan Krish in the crease. And now picking up Matej Vilemek. The older Vilemek, he wants one pass, one score, and it's a break. Nope, Pelicans. No, that is, yeah, he was inside. 3SB get it right back, Steph.
Indeed they do. Pelican is everywhere, but he's only able to be in all those places because Krish leaves his feet and turns into a human missile. Look at that action by Krish. It's all easy from here. Vilemek just has to pick up, spot the cut, and, well, throw a beautiful around break as well. That's all he has to do is throw a beautiful break. But those are the breaks that at this level should be stock standard. This is part of your three-man drill, the break mark drill. And he does it to perfection to capitalize and make sure that Krish's hard work comes to fruition. 3SB break and take a lead.
To go 3-2 up. Something I believe teams have to start doing is that force was too close. Because like you say, that Dominator offensive move, isolation front of stack, is going to be very common. You can step off a bit as the mark because if the weakness to stepping off is people can really ping it past you to the short break side. That's going to be nearly impossible to catch in these conditions. Step off. Do not let them sit around breaks past you. As here come Quijotes. Right back. And that's a huge foot block. Kicking the door shut right in his face. 3SB starting to feel themselves a bit with these big defensive plays.
Yeah. Huge plays, foot blocks, body blocks. They're coming at it everywhere. And just like that is a flying Bruce Lee Kung Fu foot block there. Not even like, not necessarily a point block. It is a run into the lane foot block.
So nice block by Vilemek. Now Krish starts off, gets the dump off immediately. And receives the disc back. And then to Vilemek again. Stand back to Halamka. So obviously Matej, Vilemek, Halamka, Krish going to be incredibly important for 3SB in this D-line. Lepshi now working with Halamka. And Vilemek. Like the Lepshi. And now Krish. So Quijotes, despite the turnover on their O-line, switching into a zone. That's an interesting caveat, but one that will stand them well, you'd imagine, in this tournament as it keeps going. Swing to the near sideline and arriving for help, Halamka. And these are smooth throws in the conditions. Really nice stuff from 3SB. Lepshi bounces it back to Krish. Doesn't want Lepshi. Wants the difficult flick all the way across. Needed Pelican to go to his knees, and Pelican with the smooth throw to Krish, and 3SB go 4-2 up.
He's a smooth operator. Pelican can do it all, is doing it all. And 3SB finding ways, breaking again and again. They're on a nice run there. That is a fantastic distribution by Pelican. Great shape in any conditions, considering these conditions, to put that kind of touch and rotation on the disc. A great showing of his throwing prowess as 3SB have taken back the lead here in a game where they succumbed to giving up the first break against. And that's something I mentioned off the top. In this game, big leads, small leads, trading back and forth because of the amount of deviation that can happen just in 1 point. I mean, you really got to be driven down under a big lead to feel out of it. I feel like in conditions like this, you can always fight your way back in. Like when things get slippery in conditions like this, they get really slippery, and you can see momentum carried even further.
So Quixote is trying to fight back against that momentum, get a bit going themselves. Like you say, short field turnovers, certainly a common occurrence in these conditions and something we've already seen from many teams so far today. I do think it's interesting 3SB's offense has come their breaks have come from a much more short game focused offense than I think we expected. As now Quijotes working away. That's Ortega with the disc. He's already been very impressive in the early exchanges of this game. They're going to need him to step up if they want to stay tight. And that's one of the risky throws. It comes off. Support is there. Leading pass really nicely into the path of Farron. Now Farron wants the backhand break to Ortega. Gets it. Back to Farron. And another low release backhand. Huge defensive play. Patrick Novak.
Wow, Novak did save the day there. I thought Farron had well-sighted Valbuena. Novak just shut the door in the nick of time. Quijotes were looking good. The play through Munoz hit the sideline. I'm very impressed that Novak was able to get there and knock that away. It looked like that was one more on the board for Quijotes already.
And that disc is immediately down. Like you say, you're never really out of it, Quijotes. Strike back quickly. Aragones with the score.
And you get a look at the full depth of the Quijotes roster here. We talk about the fact that what Spanish Ultimate has done and is doing. There's the turn as John Dock unable to get under the low throw and quick to punish to Aragones. But that line alone showing a lot of the international flavor on the Quijotes lineup. They've got 7 players, 8 players coming across from different origins, a lot of them in Spain, living in Spain, so they are well and truly part of the fabric of this team, but they do have this Farron and Hancock coming from the U.S., both on for that point, Munoz on for that point. The Frenchman who used to play with Chak is now living and playing in Madrid. So Quijotes have been a team that has really done a great job implementing some of the transients that once was and keeping them in Madrid and getting them into the Madrid club culture. And it's a very good integration. You think about Calarota and Munoz specifically, like a big, tall French receiver, a fast distributing Italian power thrower, great additions to the Spanish attack.
As 3SB's attack will look to get right back into the Spanish skin. Nice quick play against this zone. So I almost think the zone is working against Quijotes, because if they weren't playing zone, there'd be a lot more deep shots from 3SB. And 3SB have looked a bit more comfortable in their offense. Big bid, but nothing happening. Swiping at air. As now 3SB. Pelican wants to lead front corner. It's a bit too far. Incredible effort by Philip Halamka. Does it count? I couldn't see, Steph.
Well, that's the second time that the number 11 shirt has stepped into this lane, so it does give us a tough time having a perfect perspective, but we might see here out of bounds. I think he's touching
so
chalk.
Tough.
By the time he does clasp the fit, very close.
When he starts,
blades of grass.
Yeah. The foot dragged out of bounds. Incredible effort from Halamka. Although, of course, those more familiar with Czech Ultimate would expect no less. As now Quijotes, their D-line pinned back in their own end zone, but looking to even this game back up. Remember, 3SB started on serve, so they really are only technically a break-up. They've had 2, but so have Quijotes had 1. So, keeping it close. Big could have been a Callahan. And I got to tell you, I think Halamka's aware of that. Reich leads, and another huge layout block on the other side. The disc just a bit slower than they expected. And Ruta Gallena, he had that huge grab earlier in the match. And that's a great block by Krish, his second of the game.
Bit of a flub, I think. Slipped out of hand, but credit Krish too.
Backhand throws, back head blocks, and it finishes with Pelican in the end zone and a hold, technically, for 3SB.
A whole bunch of weather-affected play on that line, going back and forth as you see that beautiful celebration there.
John
but that was
you can see he went for the catch.
The play of the point. Halamka sends himself flying as we've been used to seeing that throw a bit too short, trying to sight Pelican. And here's the flub, just slips out of hand. And hits the back of the head of Creech, even the Falcon, as they call that in Australia.
They call Creech the Falcon in Australia?
No, a disc or ball or flying object that hits a player in the head is said to be a Falcon. And falconed there was Creech, as you see in the background. Gentle, warming up for their game. It's great to see all these teams converging here in Oostende. It's so exciting, the start of these tournaments, the anticipation this year with the ranking, Lorcan, and we're in it. It's all happening now.
Welcome to the show. Ortega with the disc. 3SB peeling off into the lanes, but not committing to a zone. Staying match. There's the turnover. We expect plenty of those. Valbuena just the latest victim. It's so you think it's a wet disc. It's not just a wet disc. It's the energy to move and how difficult it is to then stay present of mind to make a catch. These discs are coming at you incredibly quickly. The throwers are putting a lot of adrenaline into it. Valbuena caught that one and able to get the dump back across the Aragones. Farron. You can really see the American backhand, can't you? It's almost Joe Whitish, the way he gets low and just leads from...
Never heard of him. Who's that?
Oh, sorry, Jose Blanco.
Yes. Joseph Leblanc. Yeah, he does have a little bit of that, leading the weight into the front hand before it comes out, stepping into the throw.
It's a very aggressive throwing style. Something that works well with the Quijotes offense. Ortega. That is Alvaro Ortega. Not to be confused with Sergio. Monuz goes back to Ortega and recycles into the middle. Not liking the options. And I didn't love that dump pass, but it comes off.
Yeah, it was a wobbler.
Monuz, like you said, the big Frenchman with the big throw. Not what you'd expect from him, and not what 3SB expected either. Valbuena makes it 5-4.
Great throw by Monuz, the Frenchman. Again, known for his ability to stretch the field and be a target, but showing his range here, citing a matchup he likes, favorable Valbuena with a bit of timber over Halamka, and exposes it well with a perfectly weighted backhand over the top. Quijotes bring it back to within one, still requiring a break to put things back on track. But yeah, great finish there by Monuz and company. We mentioned, Lork, that this is the first year of the ranking and the new exciting qualification system. That said, there is a matchup function as part of the algorithm that our very own Ravi Vasudevan built. This game should be 15 to 13.39 by the time it's over. So I guess 15 to 13.
Yes.
So says the almighty algorithm.
All glory to the algorithm. Maths is, of course, a form of witchcraft, and witchcraft is to be respected and feared, much like women. I do want to say, Monuz, traditionally on the D line for the Quijotes, but you could see they're starting to load up those O-lines early on because they recognize they need these points. It was something that Ravi brought up in the previous round. Start strong because you don't know if the weather's going to cut your game short. As 3SB, who actually started off not great, giving up that break, but have come back and have looked in the lead so far. One break to the good and starting to milk these discs, getting very comfortable against the zone. Dobek swings across. Now to Doherty. Will he huck it? Is that even a question? Oh, and it works out. It goes all the way down the field and is collected into the hands of Shebek. Shebek, the outlaw, thinks about the inside, instead goes back. And now it's centered into the middle. John Doherty, you can't huck when you're this close to the end zone. He's in the foyer.
Well, I'll have to dump then.
Yeah, I guess so. I don't think he liked that. Lex is happy to see it. Now across to Doherty. Doherty sits one out into space. And it's another really impressive attempt. It was always tailing away to the opposite side. But František Vilemek, the younger Vilemek brother, gives it everything he can.
Yeah, Doherty wanted to just serve that one up on a platter, and he put the right touch on it, but as you said, it had the wrong edge on it. It trailed away. That was a bit more inside out. Should have come out flat with the same touch and maybe would have had a bit more chance on that. I like the vision of it and the mechanics just off by a bit. In these conditions, to be that close, it's a worthy effort to put that one up.
As Quijotes rushing right back down the pitch. They want this break. They want to tie this game back up. But they'll need more accurate passes than that one, asking a lot of the receiver and not getting it. 3SB quick to strike back. They don't let Quijotes set up in their zone. And there's the inside-out hooks. I expected a lot more of those. Huge block. Excellent effort. Luis Daniel Pacheco Vargas. Another one of those international imports, I believe Venezuelan.
Sí, que bueno.
And Quijotes say, fine, let's hook. And let's see if you can D. And yes, they can. Philip Lexa.
Yeah, Calorota wound up and sent that one maybe for field position more so than intended receiver. So they got away with that. They've got more breathing room behind them now, but they're playing defense. That's the difference.
And strangely enough, Dobek just looking backwards almost exclusively while he waits for his teammates to get into position. Now Dobek, that's not an easy throw, especially with that kind of defensive pressure. Take a bow, Vargas.
Woo!
And then Dobek almost immediately gets the block back. Vargas able to stay strong. Calorota, the captain of Quijotes, gets the quick throw around and a score. That's a break. No, that makes more sense. I was thinking people didn't seem to be quite reacting to Jimenez's score.
For a reason, because he was on the wrong side of the line.
Well, then, that's a turnover.
Yes or no?
Isn't it?
I think the goal line, not the sideline. But they have conceded that it was indeed on the right side of the line. So probably a near straddling situation. Which foot was down first? Let's have another look as we go towards it. Here is the throw coming up from Calorota. And, ooh, that back foot still down.
He was called in immediately by Shebek, who was his defender. So if that hadn't happened, if nobody had called anything apart from out, and he'd done that spike celebration, can you give us a rules clarification, Steph? Would that have been a turnover?
No. No, that would not have. If he assumed in and spiked and was wrong about the assumption of being in, I think he would get the disc back.
So you have another look there. Yeah, that's not in. That's not in.
I think that I agree. The
back
foot
was still
down while he caught the disc.
You play,
it's that close.
It is, and Shebek was the man marking him and immediately called him in. So 5-5, tied right back up, and this has been a tantalizing matchup in the pool stages. Coming in, like you say, the expected score is 15-13. Quijotes ranked 14, 3SB ranked 7. A lot of people think a bit of a paper ranking. But you got to play who's in front of you, and right now, it's the Spaniards right in the faces of 3SB. Nice flick over the top, out of the hands of Pelican, into the waiting clutches of Schwab. And now Villamek working. That's backfield. Krish looking, able to get it over the top, takes 2 touches. Schwab needs somebody to help him. There are Spaniards everywhere. Goes with the hammer over the top. And no call on the contact, so another turn for Quijotes.
Great pressure by the defense there, trapping them on the sideline and really tightening up on the coverage assignments around the disc.
Hancock is able to swing that across, bunt with the disc. Not sure how it didn't get hand blocked.
Yeah, I was thinking the same, Lorcan.
Bunt to Vargas. Now bunt again, near sideline. Wants to lead to Vargas. That dropped a lot quicker than he was expecting.
Yeah, that's the throwing error there, but the throw put a lot of trust in coming back on the angle and didn't get it.
Immediately launching all the way, and that is a tough drop. But an understandable one. Zalewski couldn't get his hands around it. Now they're looking to center. It's bunt again. Big bid, but this time not getting there. And Quijotes, there's that quick sand step offense. Ortega going 1-2, gets it back. Has Vargas. Let's say that he intended to instead throw that to bunt.
We can say that.
Now Bunt with the disc. A nice swing to the far sideline. This is Quijotes looking for a break to take the lead. They went 1-0 up to start the game. Oh, sorry, no, it was 2-1, I think. Anyway, Bunt with the disc. Cross to Ortega, and now nicely into the center. Hancock, another one of the American imports. Ortega.
Oh, travel called, and Krish pointed to the mark. That's where he's supposed to be. I do think he respected and put his foot where he asked it to be put and played on. I don't see a problem with that, in fact. Krish wanted a tap in after the travel call, but I don't believe that is a requirement. Return to the travel spot and play on. I think Krish has got an extra stoppage there that was not necessarily required.
There's the quick drop back into the middle. Puyol. Vargas. Ortega. It's a tough little space to throw it into, and Quijotes with Bunt on the disc, very much sticking to their offensive structure. These are short throws to open spaces. Nice switch by 3SB. Ortega still working with Bunt. Doesn't like that dump cut. Forced to go with the pop pass. Excellent shutdown defense by Zalewski.
Yeah, tough option to take, but there were not many great options to throw to there. All credit to 3SB defense.
Will Krish immediately send it again? Yes, he does. And it's another turnover, almost identical to the turnover they had on the last point. Clearly part of their strategy coming into this game, but I don't think you want to keep giving Quijotes these short field opportunities. Puyol. And that seems to be the timeout coming. Ortega recognizing the tiredness on his team, saying, "Oh, we just take a little break, and let's knock in this break and go 6-5 up this close to half." It's crucial.
I was just thinking, we have not seen a timeout in this game with the amount of long points with multi-turnovers. I was just thinking, we are due for a timeout here, and we're in each other's heads here, Lorcan.
And we're in each other's bed. That's a little bit of inside ultimate for you. As Quijotes looking to get a break and take the lead, they are 6-5 up on 3SB.
On October 14th, 2024, the first ever World Beach Ultimate Club Championships will take place in Portugal. Follow the over 600 games as the scores update live online. And with free streaming from the Ulti TV arena, you can catch your favorite teams on your phone or from the comfort of your couch. Don't miss any of the action from Portimao.
Yes, he will. The lovely day.
Welcome back, everybody, to Ulti TV and Solid Sports radio broadcast in picture of EUCF 2024. Right now, Quijotes, disc in hand, opportunity in sight for a break to go 6-5 up. They started the game on defense, Steph, which you know is crucial.
Absolutely crucial stuff. What else is crucial is what happens out of these timeouts. The in-game, in-point timeouts, something we harp on in the commentary seats. Lorcan.
We need something to talk about.
Yeah, but
I think part of with the coming out of the timeout and leading to a turnover so frequently is because the defense sets up and it can just lock you down. So even if you've got a drawn up play, it's very hard to execute from that position. But I would always say just come out, reset it twice, and then get back to playing. And you're generally okay. Just look for the dump resets. There's now 3SB looking for the offensive hold to maintain their control of this game. You'd have to say, apart from giving up the first break of the match, they've really been in control since they took it back.
That is very fair to say.
And they've had several chances at this one, and they all seem to end in the same situation, which is Krish sending a flick huck, not being completed, which is not a criticism of him. You've got to do it in these conditions. Someone's got to be brave enough to take those throws on, and you've got to be willing to accept that there'll be turnovers. As Pelican dumps it back. That's Krish with the disc, who's been flying all over the place in this game so far. Back to Pelican. He has Vilemek, the older, down the line. You see Quijotes sticking with that zone. I like the mark coming around to take away the dump. There's Krish. Gets that throw off. Huge bit by Vargas. He's trying to fly. Well, he's got the time. Is that throw too far?
Yeah, Zalewski really leaned into that one, put a whole lot more on it than was required and than was expected. I thought he had a whole bunch of space as he got that disc, had some liberty to lean into a throw, and his mechanics all looked sound until the release there. Popped it up a bit too much, and maybe the wind pushed it out the back.
Ortega starts with the disc. Immediately throws it back to Hancock. Ortega and Hancock working away in their own end zone as the turns continue to ratchet up. Vargas.
Ooh.
And that's why you play Huck and D in these conditions. Now, Quijotes have not really been guilty of that too much. One drop, one throwaway in the short field. 3SB need to take advantage of it. And look, if you need to take advantage of it, that's who you want picking up the disc. Krish. Lackadaisical break across to Krish. Vilemek back to Krish in the middle. That hat's got to be soaked through at this point. Big flick all the way around. Space. Now, was Schwab in? It's called in. It's a goal. 3SB hold. 6-5.
Yeah, I do believe that is the right call. I'd love to see that one again on slow motion replay, but a risky biscuit shooting for a corner that tight to the sideline with a throw with that much verticality on the disc, a very bladey throw. Here is the reception. Oh, yeah, that foot is definitely in. And that is definitely a goal. 6-5, 3SB maintain their 1-point lead. The Vargas throw, as you said, cost them a short field, and in this case, a score against the other way, an easy conversion for the Czechs. The wind, a little bit, it's coming and going over the course of this 80-minute time slot, not 90. The games, of course, have been shortened to 80 minutes today. But it has been coming and going. We can tell by our tent walls. They are currently a little more stabilized than they have been over the course of this match. But, yeah, the inclement weather, not only inclement, but inconsistently inclement.
Manu's big shot from the big man, but well read and blocked. Vilemek gets into position, hits Krish, and you can see 3SB working their best players, happy to keep them out their O and D line, and that's why huge throw, bigger grab, excellent stuff by 3SB to get the crucial break. Radek Lepshi with the grab.
Nice edge spike there. I believe that was Matej Vilemek with the wind-up backhand. But either way, we're going to get another look at that, but that throw was absolute fire. That is not right. That was Mr. Risch indeed. What a throw. It required a play at the other end, and what a play. Backdoor was getting closed there. Monterde Ortega was coming in to have a sniff on that one, but because of that excellent read by Lepshi, the play unavailed. I think that might have been the play for halftime by the looks of things, and the clock at 40 minutes they would have been on a +1 situation, and we're either into another timeout or this is the half.
Well, it's a crucial moment either way. 3SB getting that extra break, going up 7-5. a commanding lead. As you can see, it is half because they are switching sides, which means Quijotes will come out with the disc, but still be a breakdown. Something that really has to be taken into account when you look at this pool, it's got Clapham and Gentle in it. Both these teams got to be thinking, if we want to make it to pre-quarters, this is the match we got to win.
Exactly. This is the theoretic bottom of the pool. In fact, 3SB the higher seed than Gentle. They worked the system well, is what is one way of saying it. They had a great season. Qualifying games, they are undefeated, 12-0 to get to this stage. Of course, why are they not the number one seed? Well, because their games they chose were against opponents that did fall to some weaker teams in the ranking algorithm. They
are against opponents who... many opponents, such as Outsiders, Terrible Monkeys, Forward, Uprising, KFK, Orobro, if we want to go really far back, the Big Easy as well, who have made an EUCF. Now,
not
did
this
any
one.
of...
They did not beat an opponent that is in this tournament.
Yet. They're 7-5 up on Quijotes.
And so that's why you got to give some credit to Gentle, who are 2 seeds behind them, 7-5. But you look at the Gentle roster and you look at this one and you might say, yes, 3SB, the 2 seed in this group, but Gentle could be the stronger case for
I think
taking
on paper,
the 2.
Yeah. And talking to one of the coaches for 3SB before this game, he said, this is one of the highest variance tournaments that we've ever gone to while I've been involved with this club. We could, make quarters if at all possible. We could just crash out immediately. And right now, they have been looking ready for the conditions, apart from a couple of long points, which are natural in this situation. But Grish, both Villemex, Pelican, they're playing well.
Indeed, they
ready
are.
for the moment.
Indeed,
I didn't even say Grish as well. Grish is having a fantastic game. Some of those blocks been really impressive. That's less than impressive pull as Ortega basically starts in the red zone. First throw, turnover. I think that might have been Lepshi. A little difficult to see. No, it wasn't Lepshi, sorry. Still, excellent block on the immediate dump pass. And 3SB want to take over and take control of this match. Get out of here with the lead intact. Huge hook. What we expect out of them. Zalewski underneath it. Manuz as well. We got a battle. And Villemek, is he in? He was. Ortega calls him in. 8-5.
The trailer, sometimes known as the garbage man, picking up the trash left behind, but no trash there. A great throw. A good throw by Pelican to put it in the end zone.
A successful throw.
A good enough throw. He can sometimes, I know, throwing to tall receivers, they've sometimes said, just leave it, just keep it in the field, and I'll clean this one up. Through to Zalewski as the primary target there. Manuz did a good job tying up Zalewski, spinning him around just enough, and a great show of focus, commitment on the pursuit by Mate Villemek to come in and keep the toe drag in. Here's the play that got them the possession. Great pursuit there.
I think it was Novak.
And there is the throw that I said great and then good enough. You see the pack and then you see the trailer. Well
you made
done.
an excellent point, which is in these conditions, just make it catchable in the end zone and it's a successful throw.
Keep it in
just
the field.
If it floats and it gets D'd, fine. But people chasing deep, burning energy, which you have precious little of in these situations, and it just goes out of one of the sidelines, it's not on. Any kind of disc that makes it to the end zone is a good throw. As there's not a great throw, huge defensive pressure. Disc was always going down anyway, as you can really see 3SB turning up the heat here in Oostende. It's picked up by Dobek, and Dobek throws it straight to the center. The big Vanteshek Villemek spike score, 9-5.
What a way to make a living. Lorcan, on the way in, we talked about the fallacy of momentum. And I don't believe that it's a fallacy at all. I believe it's a very real thing, and it is something that 3SB has two hands firmly gripped upon right now, and they are running with a bit of momentum. You see that hard spike coming out of František Vilemek, and that is a show of the momentum they have got themselves firmly grasped upon. A bit of a slippery slope for Quijotes. That momentum that 3SB has is what Quijotes are gathering the pull, and they know that this other team is working harder and better against them. You see the uncertainty on these first throws as Quijotes take a timeout to try and stop this momentum. We're going to take a short break too and be back with more action after these messages.
Welcome back, everybody. The action high flying, the notions highfalutin as 3SB and Quijotes recognize that this is their chance to make it through to the pre-quarters, and the games and conditions will only get tougher as the day wears on. Steph, you were talking about momentum and how 3SB have really captured it to their advantage, coming in to half 7-5 up after the timed half and snapping off two breaks in quick succession to make it 9-5. What would you like to see Quijotes change about their game to try and get back into this matchup?
I mean, the short field turnovers are what's killing them, whether it happens on first possession or not. We've gone from 5-5 to 9-5.
5-5 disc in Quijotes' hands as well.
Yeah, so 4 in a row. As far as 3SB are concerned, it's all taken and no given right now. And Quijotes evade the trouble spot. Get out of that. Now, this is what we talked about, these inclement condition games. Don't turn it over in your own end. You hate throwing the playbook out the window sometimes, but especially now when we've seen this happen, at least the last 2 of this 4 against have been turnovers on poorly released, non-focused released discs, short throws from their own end zone to 5 feet away. Get rid of those. Get it upfield, blast it out to start the point. Play defense. That's what you want to do anyways to regenerate momentum, is get your defense on the field. Dictate with your defense. Well, just do it from the offensive end. Don't make a mistake in your own end. Get it the heck out of there.
I think if you're going to go down, you got to go down playing your own style, and the advantage Quijotes have outside of style is simply in numbers. So run them, like you say, just run them. Get that short game going. Make big cuts and force 3SB to follow you. We know Calarotta's got no problems launching it.
Short pull. Let's see if they can materialize this with a shorter field.
Quijotes trying to get that disc moving. Ferran, obviously a little bit frustrated by what he sees downfield. Big, long cuts to tire out the 3SB defenders is what's called for, I believe. Ferran! And it's another huge layout block! Perhaps a slight injury?
Yeah, just an equipment situation. I think the knee brace slid down there on the when they hit the turf. Great play again. I don't got a number on that one, but
Robert Shebeck.
Robert Shebeck, heck of a play, mate.
You brought a bit of Australia back with you, eh? Dobek, disc in hand, and then rips one down to Shebeck, the man who got the layout block. The Budweis outlaw.
You like the snood look over the face is what you're saying.
I didn't say I liked it. I said it's what he's wearing.
You noticed it.
Well, right now I'm noticing 3SB playing with a lot more confidence than they were earlier in this matchup. Dobek, happy to lead this D-line offense. Back to Vilimek. They have Doherty on the far sideline, but right now happy to play, or on the near sideline even, happy to play on the far one. Quijotes returning to the zone. There's the throw, looking for Doherty, finding absolutely nobody near him. Valbuena able to chase it down, and Quijotes throwing that one a bit too far ahead. You don't expect Calorota to make that kind of a mistake.
Yeah, Calorota let the wind get too much of that one. Not quite enough spin on it. Should have been flat, was outside in, and the wind did the rest of the work.
It is worth noting the wind has picked up in these last few minutes, and that was a phenomenal throw, Doherty. You know he gets it on that sideline. You know he's launching it. Can he keep it in bounds? That's the golden rule. No, he can't. That disc is... No, you were out of bounds when you jumped. That disc is going all the way back. The difference being, if he was inbounds when he jumped and inbounds when he made contact with that disc, it would stay down there. But as you can see here, in between the sea of Finnies, Novak jumped from out of bounds, which means Quijotes get to march this all the way back down the pitch. That is a crucial difference. Doherty, you know he wants it on the sideline so he can send those backhands. He's got to keep them inbounds. As Ferran with the disc. Wants the dump reset straight away. Good initial setup from 3SB, forcing it directly backwards. Ortega to Valbuena. Got a D earlier in this point. Missed throws to Manuz. Misses him on the inside scoop.
You could see the disappointment in the body language immediately after release there.
Lexa throws it back. As 3SB operating in this tiny space. High winds right in their faces. Lexa's working in the dump space. Doherty's also there trying to attract some attentions. And there's the huge throw out of the hands of Dobek. Oh, and he gets it all the way across. I don't know how he found Stepek, but he did. And that's another brilliant grab. Stepek tried to throw it away, but I got to tell you, Novak's not letting him. There's the leading pass. Doesn't want to throw to Stepek straight in front of him. Cut comes across in the form of Sladek. Sladek not able to get there in time. Just a little bit of conversation. Patrick Novak with the disc. Novak doesn't like the quick pop to Stepek. Lex is trying to get free in an unorthodox, shall we say, circuitous cut. A bit of conversation, a little less action between Romano and Novak. I think Novak clearly saying, you're hitting the disc. When I have the disc in my hand, that's a part of my body. That's a foul. I'm owed a fresh 10. Uncontested. Or shall we say accepted?
That is
we are now.
the new
Novak
term.
gets back to Dobek. Dobek throws it behind the receiver, and two flying bodies leads to Quijotes' turnover. Ortega wants to get things rolling straight away. It's across to Valbuena. Valbuena across to Ferran. Ferran straight down the line. Incredible grab. Almost going back in time. Sits into the shot. Throws it all the way down the field. Valbuena pop back to Ortega. Ortega. Romano and Ortega wants to hop it in, and Quijotes, after an awfully long point, get the hold. 9-6.
They had to work very, very hard for that hold. I mean, that chance the other way for Vilimek, his flying body was in some kind of form to try and give himself a chance in the other end zone. Quijotes make good with it. Here's watch Vilimek's body trying to turn himself backwards there, as in a bit of a superhero. This blade from Farah, this one here, out of the hands of Jimenez, well handled that disc, and then the rest made easy. Romano and Ortega find the space, moving towards the sideline, and all alone to finish things off. And boy, did they need that. The first goal after 3SB put 4 in a row. They stemmed the flow there. Now they've got their defense on the field. Can they build some momentum of their own?
Do you think Jimenez traveled on that flick? If I was playing against him, I'd have called a travel on that. Because I think you gain an advantage trying to snap a disc like that if you can slide your foot across.
So you gain an advantage by traveling, is what you're saying?
Yeah. No, it's because that's when you can call it, right?
No. I didn't notice it when I watched it.
I didn't either, but on
the replay.
Yeah.
So I can't give a opinion. I guess I don't.
I think
it didn't jump out at me, so it wasn't.
I ask because I see lots of players doing that exact move when they throw flicks, and I think it gives extra snap. So it's a curiosity towards everyone's play generally, not just a criticism of Jimenez. As now 3SB, 3 points to the good. Working it down the pitch. Vilimek, disc in hand. Quijotes sticking with this zone. We've got another bandit. And that backhand, I don't think that's where Zalewski wanted to throw it.
No, there's one of those fingers hooked into the rim more than he had hoped for there.
You got to say that
something stuck.
It's just down to the coldness in the hands. I know exactly what that feels like. I've thrown that backhand many a time myself.
We all have, Larkin.
Ferran. And I like the fact that they're starting to raise the feet. They know where he wants to let go of that backhand. Smart adjustment by Schwab. As Quijotes trying to stay in this matchup. Calorota comes back to help out and launches a flick. It arcs around, but a bit too high and difficult to read for Ruta Goyena. We've seen him get big earlier.
This is a break chance for them, but after what they've been through, that run of points against, I don't mind that disc going to the other end and putting 3SB in their own end zone to have their second chance to hold here.
You've entered the fourth quarter of the game as well. Only 80 minutes in these matches. You got to start taking those shots on. It's now 3SB. Get another look at their offense. Calorota, just a bit of contact on the mark. Uncontested. 0 stall count. So a little bit of time to think from Pelican. He doesn't want to think. He wants to throw a hammer. He wanted to complete it. But
thinking's for suckers. Watch this.
Valbuena centers it. Ortega. Ortega gets it on the double step from Ortega. Alvaro Ortega collected that disc. Throws it back to Calorota in the middle. As now you see Sergio Ortega making that cut across the front. Instead they go to Valbuena.
Halamka got like an extra meter and a half on that slide.
Jimenez to Ortega. Alvaro Ortega. He goes for the backhand break down the line. Really nice release. Jimenez gets it. They're playing in short spaces, but they got friends there. Ortega, Jimenez. And that's a bit more like Quijotes. Ortega wants the quick finish cross. Ferran. I thought he was in, but he's not. Reading these angles wrong. I apologize. Jimenez back to Ferran. Ferran to Ortega. Alvaro Ortega. Cross to Jimenez. Calorota's calling for the backhand break. Wants to make the move. Ortega, Sergio Ortega. Back to Alvaro Ortega. Sergio Ortega shoots, and Ferran with the layout catch. That's a break. 9-7.
Ferran gets horizontal dingalica. The Spanish love the looks of that body going horizontal there. Lorcan back on the break train. And again, they kept themselves out of harm's way is what they did when Calorota boosted it out. We still saw 2 more turnovers, but where were all these discs being turned over? This is early in the sequence. Where were they all being turned over? In the end, closest to the end zone that Quijotes were attacking. They were never far away. They were never in danger of being scored on. And with eventuality, they got there. They get a little bit of a head of steam of their own and worked that one into the end zone.
Like you say, a brace for the Spanish. And Nicky Ferran playing in Madrid, currently living in Madrid, originally from Nashville. Started playing when he was 14 and actually won.
City.
Indeed, if you're into country. Won Ulti World's Throw of the Year competition.
Oh, wow.
I don't know what year he did that, but that time showing he's a quality receiver as well. Something I always forget is that Nashville is like the capital of country music. When I think American music, I generally think either like LA, New York, you know, for the hip hop kind of thing, and then also the Deep South, but Louisiana and Atlanta then.
Memphis.
Memphis?
Yeah, Memphis gets a good run for their music. St. Louis? Yeah,
That's it, yeah. Nashville's,
Music
because
City.
the only thing I know about like Graceland
Yes.
is in Memphis, but I don't even really like Elvis that much. I just love the Paul Simon album. As you can see,
Tennessee.
Quixote is trying to make a bit of music of their own. 2 important points. First off, that hold, and like you say, pushing back against the momentum. That is definitely a real thing.
They have not quite generated. I mean, they've got it. They haven't taken back that momentum. I think that if they can
Look, we must imagine Sisyphus was happy. And if they find enjoyment in pushing that rock up the hill, that's where the real joy comes from. I mean, it's pounding down rain here in Oostende, but where else would you rather be? You've worked all season long.
This game has had 0 clean holds. And as we said at the beginning, every point is a miniature little microcosm war of attrition of its own, and there's always a way to fight back into a game, even being down 5 as they were now 2.
Dobek. And he's gotten a dance. That stall's got to be getting high. He's eventually able to get the pot back to Villemek. That's the younger Villemek working with Dobek. You may remember the older Villemek from that incredible foot block earlier in the game. Like you said, the Bruce Lee high-flying kick block.
Yeah.
As now it goes back. Zaluski, big leading pass, bounces off the hands of Novak. Primarily the D-line cutter.
They had just gotten away with it. They absorbed the pressure, found the one wide open receiver, and Novak couldn't handle it.
Monuz. And this is a big, big point. Jimenez gets low, lovely leading pass to Ferran. Throwing a backhand, quite like Ferran in that instance. He needs the cuts to come. There's the low release backhand across the Monuz. Tries to get it to Vargas.
Oh.
Brilliant defensive play on the first hand and helped out on the back. Shebek finishes off the block.
Takes 2 efforts to take that one away. I thought Quixote still had a very legitimate chance to cash in after the first touch, but they did it twice, did 3SB, and ensured that they would get that disc back, as they now have.
And they're looking to just waste no time, rushing right back down the pitch. Dobek, as he has been so many times at the center of the offense. Sladek getting involved. Villemek's been very impressive, both of them. That's some proud parents at home, I imagine. Sladek with the disc. Wants to go back to Dobek. Will settle for recycling a little bit further behind him in the hands of Philip Lexa. Villemek rips the backhand, learned from the John Dock school of how to give the disc away. Farhan throws it down the line of Vargas. Vargas with the disc. Waits for the cuts to come.
I just went into a full Muttley wheeze from that one.
Ortega. He was my captain in college. Monuz rips one, travels while he does it. Looking, Jimenez! And that's 9-8, baby!
And a show of frustration from the Czech defender on the coverage there. Back and forth they go again, and now we have well and truly seen a transition of this momentum. It is Quixotes who have taken back the energy. They are fired up. They are, again, absorbing what 3SB is throwing at them, taking it all on, maintaining their composure, and going the other way, fighting the elements, the defense, the deficit, and keeping their heads up and just continuing to swing the sword. Quixotes bring it back to within 1. It is 8-9, and we have a timeout. We appear to have a timeout.
It's either a timeout or it's an excessive break in between the points. As you can see, well, you can't see, but as we just worked out 3SB lining up, they don't want to let Quijotes gather any more breath, any more thought. Like you say, 3 points in a row. Exactly what you called for them to do at 9-5, what they wanted. They got the hold in, and now they've just been running D-lines out there. The turnovers, some of them just elemental errors, shall we say. You know, your hand's cold, you don't let go of that backhand. Some of them, poor decisions. You throw that hammer when there's a dump pass available. Those big hucks, understandable, clearly a part of their strategy. You can't grip and rip them. You've got to loft them and just trust your receivers. Because right now they just keep underthrowing, either too low or out of bounds. And 3SB with the disc. Quijotes want that lead back. The first lead they had in the game, I think, was 2-1 after they got a break. Fairly sure I'm right about that. And they've been down since. A little bit more popping. They're sticking with this zone. They're going with a partnership. That's Villamek looking for the end zone, and that's Vargas getting beaten. Somehow Filip Halamka comes down with it, giving up about 6 inches, but no disc. Vargas just swiping it there.
I am not sure. I'm very much looking forward to watching this again. Vargas had a great line. He was higher than Halamka. And I think he was being very cautious of not hitting the body there, and just a little bit of a misread there. His hand was just higher than the disc was. He didn't need to be that high, I guess. He could have ran a straighter line. Any which way you slice it, Halamka did a great job to maintain his composure with the defender.
That's a tough catch.
Yeah,
That's a tough catch.
Charging down his left shoulder, hearing the footsteps, and then the distraction, the vision impairment there. Vargas got right in front right before the catch there. Halamka, great job to haul that one in and to, stop the run against. Maintain a 2-point lead here, 10-8 now. We're about 7 minutes away from what will be the time cap. So the reduced time cap for day one. Meant to be 90-minute games, but because of the weather today, they've been reduced to 80-minute games. So
an understandable decision.
Yeah, we're getting towards the tail end here now.
Farhan, disc in hand. Opportunity ahead. Tries to find Manuz. Goes to the trailing edge. Full extension layout grab. Can't get there. We're going to have another look at the flying Frenchman.
Yeah, throw a little bit off, but no lack of effort there to trying to make that throw work.
So now 3SB with the chance to restore their lead at a critical junction in this game. Coming up on the final 5 minutes. As you were saying, Steph, and 3SB get a little bit of that give-go going. Villamek getting involved, gets it back to Pelican. Villamek again. There's the older Villamek. Mate throws it across. And Villamek has just been central, playing the mid-roll, making himself available to the handlers. Him and Pelican doing great work against the zone, and they're now, shall we say, in the foyer of the Quijotes defense. Pelican goes back to Halamka. Halamka to Villamek. Pelican. Villamek. Pelican. No, that's Krish with the goal. And, man, after all that heat from Quijotes, about 3 minute span, 3SB restore the lead.
A game of runs. Again, not too surprised because these slippery slopes get extra slippery in this weather. When you get going, you can kind of stay going. And as much as 3SB took on against them, that run at Quijotes, like you said, maybe the quickest 2 points of the game have been these last two for 3SB, getting their D-line back on and generating quick turns. I mean, that one, I don't know if they generated too much. The missed throw to Manuz, he made a bid for it, but they took advantage of that opportunity very quickly. But not impatiently. They didn't just fire for the end zone.
No.
It still went through lots of hands, but they picked it up. They got going. They found their way in, and they've reestablished a 3-goal lead here, 2 more in a row. And now, I'm not going to say comfortable, but a lot more comfortable than they were with that Quijotes coming right back up.
It's not comfort, but it's less discomfort.
Yes. Is there ever comfort until the game is put away?
There shouldn't be.
Yes, there should not be at all.
As you see, that disc rolls all the way
And
back.
was
Does
it
it go out the
touched?
back of the end zone? It hit a cone, so I assume it did. It wasn't touched, no.
Okay.
So Ortega's going to get to walk this to the front of the end zone, but still, incredible pull. And like you see, it's counting down the time, so it's +1 when time goes. 11-8 to Quijotes, or to 3SB. Quijotes, Manuz with the disc, sends it into the middle, collected by Valbuena. Valbuena goes back. Romano across Teperino. That was not an easy catch for Valbuena. Valbuena able to get onto it. Few cuts in front, wants to lead Moreno. Brilliant throw as well, throwing it somehow around the fully extended body of Halamka. Romano, brilliant attempt. Villamek almost gets the no-look block. Teperino, the call is up. I thought there was going to be some debate on that. Searing inside backhand break across to Valbuena. Valbuena looks to pop it straight back in. Catch and throw by Jimenez in one move. That's Quijotes at their best. They get it back. 11-9 the score is now going to be. And we're still in time. So fast fire, flawless hold. The second Quijotes have had of the game, I think. Might be a little bit more.
Yeah, I did say earlier, no clean holds. Few clean holds is more accurate.
Few and far between. Do you consider it a clean hold when the D-line doesn't turn it over? They get the turn and immediately put it in? Because Quijotes have had a few of them.
That's a clean break.
Clean break.
Yeah, not a clean hold. Has to be the
Has
offense.
to be offense.
Yeah.
But you still call it clean.
Yes.
So you have another look here at Villamek almost getting the no-look block. What a backhand by Jimenez. And then look, it's a catch and throw. Literally lands and throws it, and that's Quijotes at their best.
Yeah, and as you know, a game of runs. We've said that it's gone back and forth, 5 in a row to 4 in a row to 3 in a row, and now that's 1 on the board. Can they, if they turn this into a 2 or 3 in a rower? Well, we're right back in one. I mean, one more here, and things get very interesting if Quijotes' D-line can regenerate right now.
Also want to give a quick shout out to the Quijotes scorer of that point, Juan Manuel Babio. Quit soccer to start playing Ultimate, and
Great choice.
a phenomenal choice, originally from Barinas, Venezuela. So he played with Waro, the Venezuelan team, who I've seen at Worlds a few times. Lovely people. So,
Wow.
Sorry, Warao.
Yes.
This was a timeout, as both teams take it literally as time goes. So we will come out. It will be +1 and all to play for, as it is 3SB 11, Quijotes 9.
On October 14th, 2024, the first ever World Beach Ultimate Club Championships will take place in Portugal. Follow the over 600 games as the scores update live online. And with free streaming from the Ulti TV arena, you can catch your favourite teams on your phone or from the comfort of your couch. Don't miss any of the action from Portimao.
Welcome back, everybody. Quijotes disc in hand, game possibly slipping away from them. That is time gone. It will be finished this point and add 1. 3SB in charge. But can they hold off the Spanish charge back? They've started to introduce a bit more of a short game as they've gone forward in this match. Getting a bit more confident with the disc in hand in these conditions. Maybe too confident. That was not an easy catch for Sladek.
Yeah, for those of you at home watching, there's a travel called there, trying to figure out the cap rule. It will be if 3SB score, it's a game to 12. If 3SB score, it's a game to 13. That means it'll be 12-9. If Quijotes score, it's a game to 12, and it'll be 11-10 going into that. The more exciting prospect of the two potential options.
Dobek to Doherty. Doherty throws it back across Sladek. And there's the short field turnover, exactly what Quijotes wanted. A classic error. You throw to where your hander was just a second ago. Clearly, he's never played Space Invaders. Here comes
just
the
not
pickup.
enough.
Alvarez Arena centers it back across. Jimenez, who has come alive in the second half. Continues to throw. Back across. Alvarez. Jimenez. Trying to isolate single cuts. Brilliant grab by Ferran. He was under all kinds of attention from Shabek, but Ferran able to hold on. Ferran goes back to Jimenez. Another brilliant grab. They are holding on to possession barely. And looking to play a bit of an isolation for the most part. Is that Calarota coming back to help? It is. Jimenez, that stall count's getting high. He's got to throw something as a lead. Big bid, but nothing happening. And they never really gained any yardage.
Now, a good backup defense. They're good O-line D from 3SB. They were not great with the disc there, but when they had to defend the short field, they tightened up. They made it very difficult and have regenerated possession.
So 3SB have another look at it. Sladek goes across and receives it. So sitting in that key position, Dobek throws it down the line. And I think Novak getting in an awful lot of trouble there towards the end. Eventually gets it to Sladek. Dobek. I think that's the person they really want to have the disc in hand. Novak tries to lead. Excellent chase down and catch. Not an easy play by Lexa. Lexa goes back into the middle and around. Sladek collects. Has Dobek on the other side of the zone. Said chooses to drop back. I do like that safety valve option. Just sit a player directly behind the person with the disc so that there's always a dump available. That's a double team call, I believe. I've got to say I disagree with that because when he called it, Sladek was in the area. So as long as one offensive player is within 3 meters of the person with the disc, as many defenders as they want can be there.
Yeah, I agree that
they might be double teaming. That was the wrong. They were not when he called it.
Yeah, still trying to work this one out. They've got the disc presented as though they're waiting for the tap. Dubek waiting for Calarota's agreement, and that looks like a 3 count, and we're in.
Dubek, and there's the immediate pop back to the safety release. Of course, that person needs to get rid of the disc straight away, or you're in trouble. That's the difficulty with playing that defense. Sladek gives it back to Villamek. That was the source of the turnover on the last time, I think. Villamek throws it around. And receives it again. So now he sits in the center position. Swinging as the point goes on. That's an incredible interception. Now Calarota, the captain, right outside the end zone, throws the completion. It's a goal. Another brilliant catch. Irute Goyena gets the clap catch. 11-10, game to 12.
Wow, that turnover almost to Callahan itself. I didn't realize they were 3-4 meters out. I thought they were closer when I first saw it, but a great takeaway to step in the lane. They really only about a meter out there. Great takeaway for the number 24
Alvarez
shirt.
Arenas.
Alvarez Arenas. Que bueno.
About as close as you can get to it, Callahan.
So we have a points cap established now. We are playing to 12. That's 2 in a row for Quijotes. They are on another small run. If they can add one more to this run, we're going to have as exceptional of a finish as you get in this game of Ultimate, which would be a universe point game. 3SB, of course, hoping to avoid that kind of a situation. They'd love to end this and make it 12-10. And be able to hold after receiving this incoming pull.
It would be the longest run of the game for Quijotes. 3SB, of course, going on that 4-point run. Both sides of half. 5-5 to 7-5, then 9-5. But Quijotes, the best they've done is a 3-point run. To try and close that gap back up.
This would equal their, as you said, their biggest run of the game.
Well, let's see if Vargas can get a D this time. I actually feel quite bad for him because I think the wind pushed it under his hand, which you see happen all the time in these conditions. Also, I'm not sure he's out here on this line as 3SB want to finish this game off. Krish dumps it back. It goes a bit high. No. Excellent recover. Krish able to get onto it. And Krish, after dominating the opening exchange of this game, brilliant grab. And the call, Pelican was out of bounds when he caught it. That is a tough one. That's one of the better grabs I've seen this season.
And my initial estimation was that he was in, had caught his feet, but everyone said out. He happily agreed quickly, and Quijotes with a chance.
I think he was out. As you can see, Hancock looking to put his own signature style on this game. There's the big throw from Quijotes. They're launching it. All the marbles. And they spill out of the bag.
Yeah, not sure exactly how that one missed, but it missed. I think it was too far in front at the end. I thought there was a hand on it. I thought I saw the disc move a little bit.
I'm not entirely sure what Manus is signaling. So we have another look. Here was...
this is the turnover. The Pelican... no. Toe was on the chalk there.
Tough one. Tough one. Quijotes just launching downfield to try and take this game to Universe. Low throw, but somehow caught by Lepshi. Lepshi to Halamka. Halamka gets that pop through as you see Quijotes really trying to ratchet up the pressure. The playing style is almost reversed as we come to the end of this game. 3 SB, Lepshi with the disc to Halamka again. But playing that short game through the Quijotes zone. Quijotes responded with a hawk. There's a pop over the top again. And Halamka, after being so impressive earlier in this game, coming up when they need him towards the end, as is Grish. Real handling forces for the Czechs. Lepshi. Back to Grish. And now the stall count's getting high. He needs to get something off. It's a big leading pass into plenty of space. Pelican to finish it. Vilimek tries to hop in. Couldn't get there on the first time. And then turns over. How many times have you seen that turnover? The Pelican flaps and flounders.
Oh my goodness. No.
Huge double effort block. Incredible work.
What is going on there? That 3SB had the game. I thought they gave it away, and another chance again.
Grish gets it right outside the end zone. Vilimek goes back to Grish. Halamka right in front of him, doesn't want him. Goes back to Vilimek instead. That's Mate Vilimek, the older. Back to Halamka. Now Mate throws it to Lepshi. Vilimek. Grish. Looks. Launches. Lepshi somehow caught just outside the end zone by Pelican. And there, tries to throw it around. Big no from the big American Tate Hancock.
Wow, this game continues. That's 2 chances, 2 shots at goal for the 3SB that have been absorbed, and they're going the other way, Lorcan, and they've got the big chunk.
And Hancock throws it all the way down the field. There's a call for timeout from Ortega. That would be their second timeout of the game as they try to march it up, and there's still so much to come. Quijotes want to bring it to Universe. I think every fan in attendance does too, unless you're joining us from the Budweiser region of the Czech Republic. Well, there's only one way to see how this one will wind up. As we have another look at some of these, just 3SB have had many a chance, and they've just given it away right at the end zone. I don't know who Pelican is complaining to in that situation. You can see Hancock, under all kinds of pressure, steps out, sends it. And we will see the results of this timeout when we come back. As right now, 3SB 11, Quijotes 10.
Lolo.
Welcome back to the action as the Spaniards are trying to bring this game to Universe. And what you've got to imagine is a game to go to the pre-quarters for these two sides. Actually, having seen them play in these conditions, I'd be very excited to watch the matchup with Gentle. Perhaps not so much with Clapham. the disc. Coming back in, Ortega, number 19, not to be confused with 3. Munoz goes up the line. Romano comes back. Romano, disc in hand. He's been so impressive all season and all last season for the Spanish. Now outside the end zone. Can they get it? The pop back to Romano. Romano's looking. He wants somebody to make a cut. Ortega answers, but still outside the end zone. There's an awful lot of movement, but not a lot of liberation. Ortega now. Romano clears. Munoz is in the dump space. Romano goes back, and the dropped head leads to the collected catch. It's 11-all.
Universe point on the stream field here. Second round, the Quijotes side from Madrid have weathered the storm well and truly and brought themselves back in 3 in a row. None better than this one. A great show of composure. Going around Pelican even, who had 2 chances to finish it on a receiving and a throwing end the other side of the field, then gets broken as Quijotes put 11 on the board, enough to equalize. They've now equaled their longest run of the game. Lorcan, if they can make this their biggest run of the game, they will take one in the dub column.
Now is the time to do it. 11-8? 3SB were up.
At 9-5, 3SB were up. 11-8, 3SB were up. This game of runs, it's just no lead is safe, and they have, Quijotes have really proven that much.
They never say die. They never give up. And the really astounding thing to me is, because at 5-5 Quijotes, last time they had a chance to take the lead, got the disc in their hands, couldn't convert. Then 3SB take half 7-5, come out at a half and get 2 breaks on the bounce to go up to 9-5. And look, forgive me for thinking this game's over.
And so a lot of the games in this round are over. Quickly in this pool, these 2 teams will face up against Clapham and/or Gentle. And that game was a big win for Clapham, 15-9. So again, huge teams, competitors on the other side of this bracket. This win, huge. 22 points played, Lorcan, but none of them matter except this one now.
So here come 3SB. And that disc looks to be dragging. Oh, it lands. That's inbounds. That's absolutely brilliant. Pelican. Villemek. Matej Villemek. Pelican sends it into the middle. Yeah, that was Hrish who caught the disc. Now Pelican again. Throws it around the length, the extended finger of Munoz. And then a bobble. Quijotes outside the end zone. 3SB, they've got to defend for their lives against one of the best European outfits in this situation. It's all over. The American takes it. Ferran with the catch. Quijotes with the win. 4-point bounce back. Welcome to EUCF 2024.
What a game. What a show of absorption by the Spaniards. Bend but don't break. They never lost their composure. They went down by margins that should theoretically take you out of a game, take you out of a mental headspace, and they just kept churning and fighting. And the mistakes made, too, by 3SB at the end of this game were, again, this time Halamka could not clap catch a pass that hit him right in the hands. And unbelievable reversal of fortunes there. Quijote stayed in it. 3SB lost their mental focus, and Quijotes take their first game in EUCF, and they make it a memorable one. That one in the win column on Universe Point. What a game! EUCF is up and running now.
Incredibly impressive showing from the Spaniards. Commiserations to 3SB, but thank you so much for the action and thank you for joining us. We've still got plenty more to come all day long. In the next slot on this field, we have Moon Cup taking up catch up in the women's division, whereas in mix we have Disconnection taking on Pelt. So where else would you want to be than right here with us? Thank you for joining us, and please keep it here. We will see you next catch time, same catch channel, in about 5 minutes.